Let's look at the quarterly performance of equity model portfolio. So we have two portfolios. One is Wealth portfolio, which is a mutual fund portfolio, and we have Wealth Plus portfolio, which is a combination of mutual funds and marketing debentures. Now, what are marketing debentures? They typically help you to accelerate returns with high degree of probability and also reduce the risk. And hence, this combination of a mutual fund and marketing debentures help investors to achieve their objective in any market situation. And now if you look at the performance of Wealth Plus portfolio, it has clearly outperformed the Nifty in all the time frames. As I mentioned, it also helps you to reduce the risk. Let's look at it how. Let's assume that investor has investments into large cap stocks and mid cap stocks. Let's say 10 large cap stocks and 10 top mid cap stocks with a combination of 60-40%, 60% large cap and 40% mid cap. Now this combination will have a standard deviation, which is a risk measurement of about 35.40%. And what is standard deviation? It tells you how much you are deviating from the mean. So for example, if the mean of returns is about 15%, it will deviate, let's say 15 plus 35, 15 minus 35. That's the kind of swing you can experience from this kind of a stock portfolio. And from there, if you move the portfolio to this combination of mutual funds with marketing debentures, it will have a standard deviation of less than 10%, about 9.24%, which means you can potentially reduce the risk by 74% from stock portfolio to mutual fund plus marketing debentures. Likewise, if you have a mutual fund portfolio, so your equity mutual fund portfolio will typically have a standard deviation about 14%. And from there, if you move to mutual fund plus marketing debentures, you can reduce the risk by about 35%. And this portfolio will be less riskier than the Nifty by about 25%. And that's how you can also reduce the risk when you move your portfolio to this combination of mutual funds and marketing debentures. Now let's look at how the journey has been for Wealth Plus portfolio. So here is an example. If an investor has invested 10 lakh rupees into mutual funds and 10 lakhs into marketing debentures on 1st of April 2019. And why we have taken from this period? Because from this year, from April 2019 till today, about 3.5 years, we have seen the market volatility. We have seen two big falls. So if you see the performance of this portfolio in this market volatility, from 1st April 2019 till about 14th Jan 2010-20, which is the pre-pandemic high, you can clearly see it has outperformed the Nifty by about 5%. From there, if you can see 23rd March 2020, which is the pandemic low, when the Nifty reached about 7,600 level, the fall of market was about 35%, but this portfolio fell by only 16%. That's the benefit of MLD combination along with the mutual funds. And from there, if you see the 9th November, which is again pre-pandemic high, and 18th October, which is the all-time high of about 18,000 Nifty level, you can clearly see it has outperformed the market. And from there, if you see 30th September, you can see the 20 lakh rupees invested then would have grown to 33 lakh 38,000 in Wealth Plus and about 29 lakhs in the Nifty. So clearly outperformance of 4% over the benchmark. And hence, if you can see all the time frames, this journey is much smoother than your pure investments into stocks or a mutual fund. So now let's look at the benefit of regular investments. So it's not about making a lump sum investment, but it is very important to have a regular investment as well. So there are two benefits of making regular investments by way of SIPs. One is the power of compounding and second is rupee cost averaging. So here is one example of two funds which has crossed 20 years in the industry. Let's assume had someone invested about 20,000 rupees for last 20 years in each of these funds, which would mean your total investment is 48 lakhs in each of these funds. And if you see the value of these funds after 20 years, one fund could have grown to 3 crore 76 lakhs, the other fund could have grown to 3 crore 30 lakhs, which means clearly 8 times money in last 20 years. And look at the IRR. Both the funds have given almost 18% to 17% kind of returns in last 20 years. That's the power of compounding. Let's look at it. What is the benefit of rupee cost averaging? So for example, if you make investments regularly in every month, let's assume that today in a particular month when you make investments, when the market is high, the earlier investments you have done, that would grow. Or let's assume when you make investments when the market is low, the fresh investments happen at lower level. So hence you get benefit in both the markets. That's the rupee cost averaging. So now if you look at it, both the funds in all the time frames, let's say 5 years, 10 years and 15 years, These two funds have clearly delivered returns about 13 to 14% in 5 years, 10 years, and 15 years time frame. And which means, as I mentioned earlier, 8 times is the money what you can grow in last 20 years. And that's the benefit of SIP. So if you've not made any investments into SIPs, or if you want to include SIPs, this is a time. Contact Airwell Partner. They would help you to do so.